Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm so sorry I missed last week's upload. I was at the YCS, so didn't have time to film a video, but I will be talking all about that in a bit. It was such a fun experience. I had a great time taking my Dynamorphia deck. If you do want to look at my deck list for that video, definitely check out my previous video. It's titled YCS Dynamorphia Deck List 2025, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, just check that out. That'll tell you everything you need to know. But today I am back with another deck list. Today we're looking at Purrely. Now, look at the secret rare on that, super clean. But this is definitely one of my all-time favourite deck lists, and today I'll just be talking about the cards, what they do, going over some of the routes you can go down, I guess, how the deck works. But in the next video I'll be showing combos for that, so if that's something you'd like to see, definitely like, subscribe, comment down below and stick around for next video. But without further ado, let's get into the deck list. So to start off our deck list on this super beautiful Photon Hypernova playmat I picked up at the YCS, we're going to be having 2 copies of our Purrely. Now, this card is beautiful in Secret Rare, and on normal or special, it excavates the top 3 cards from our deck and adds 1 Purrely spell from our deck to our hand, and then place the reverse on the bottom of the deck in any order. And this is the effect we're really going to be looking at, is this second one. Is that once per turn, during your main phase, you can reveal 1 Purrely quick play spell in your hand, special summon 1 Xyz monster from your extra deck that mentions that card by using this card you control as material, and attach the reveal card to that summon monster. So basically, this whole deck works by Xyz summoning using our Purrely, 1 monster and 1 quick play spell, and the next card, it kind of does the same thing, but it's much better at it. We've got 3 copies of our Purrely. Now, unfortunately not in Secret Rare, but if it's normal or special, you can add a Purrely card from your deck to your hand, except a quick play spell. Super amazing for consistency, adding on My Friend Purrely that we'll look at in a bit. But then it does the same thing as Purrely, just with cards, the quick play spells in the graveyard. So that card is super strong. We're running that at 3 as our main starter, but both of those are brilliant to draw. Purrely's effect to excavate isn't once per turn, so I would definitely be looking at using that multiple times in a turn. But now let's get on to our generic hand traps. First, we got 3 copies of Ghost Ogre for pops. We got 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird to stop our opponents drawing cards. We got 2 copies of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion for those Malice matchups. Should definitely be running 3, just need to find my 3rd one. 2 copies of Ash, don't have a 3rd one. 2 copies of Veiler, same thing. And then 1 copy of Ghost Mourner, which I will be switching for a Veiler when I find my 3rd one. But we're running these ratios just to keep the deck under 40 and just stay low, stay consistent, and just generically run good hand traps. You know, there's not really any better hand traps than this. I guess you could run Bestials, and no one's really maining Lanceair, are they? But yeah, so 3 Purrely and 2 Purrely is definitely the ratios I would recommend, as I think Purrely's effect is definitely much stronger than the Purrely's. But yeah, let's get into the spells. So the spells all kind of do the same thing. You can discard a card and then special summon a level 1 Purrely monster from our deck, so our Purrely's or Purrely. However, they all gain different effects depending on which quick play you use, and they let you go into different Xyz monsters. So first we have our Sleepy Memory. The next battle or effect damage you take this turn will become 0, and then the Xyz monster that it summoned with it gets to draw a card in our opponent's standby phase, soft once per turn. So that's definitely one of the stronger ones, which is why it's so unfortunate that it's semi-limited. The next one that's semi-limited, unfortunately, is Purrely Delicious Memory. So you choose a monster on the field, and until the end of the next turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle. Then it has the summon effect, and a Purrely Xyz monster that uses it gains 300 attack and defense for each material attached to it. That's such a strong effect. You can get massive Purrely Noirs with like 5k attack, 6k defense. Oh, it's a beautiful card to have, and I'm really sad it's at 2. Hopefully it'll come back soon though. Next, we have our 3 copies of Purrely Happy Memory. You choose 1 card on the field, and until the end of the next turn, the first time it will be destroyed by card effect, it isn't, and then it has the summon effect, and then it can make attacks up to a number of times in each battle phase, up to the number of Purrely Happy Memory attached to it. So the Xyz monster can attack multiple times, really brilliant for OTKing with this deck, and just makes this deck really, really strong. Finally, for our Purrely quick play spells, we have 3 copies of Pretty Memory. Both players gain 1000 life when you activate it, then it summons, and then if an Xyz monster has its material, you can send 1 other card you control to the grave, target 1 card your opponent controls, and attach it to this card's material. So these are basically your main combo starters. However, I would say the Delicious Memory and the Happy Memory are definitely worse as starters due to the fact they have to target cards on the field to resolve. So if you don't have anything else in hand, that can be quite difficult to kind of start off with. But your Sleepy Memory and your Pretty Memory are definitely the ones you're going to be wanting to focus on when going into your combos. Next, we have 3 copies of our My Friend Purrely. Beautiful, beautiful collector's rare. You can pay 500 life points, reveal 3 Purrely cards from your deck, except My Friend, and your opponent randomly picks one for you to add to your hand, also shuffle the rest into your deck. And now this used to be really great when you had 3 sleepy, 3 delicious, because you could choose your line specifically. But sometimes you can get into situations where you really need one of them, and it can kind of impact that if you say reveal 2 sleepy, 1 delicious, and you get the delicious and you don't really need it. But I think it's just playing it a bit by ear, seeing how it goes in the game. I mean, it's not really affected me too much, but it can be annoying. The second effect of My Friend Purrely is a recursion effect. If a face-up Purrely exceeds monster we control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, except even during the damage step, you can add up to 3 Purrely quick play spells with different names from your graveyard to your hand. Now that's super strong. Make sure that the deck doesn't die immediately, but I would definitely recommend running 3 of them. I'm just going to put it over there because of the light. But yeah, it's such a strong card, and to continue that recursion, I guess, we've got Stray Purrely Street. This card is super strong. Our opponent cannot target Purrely monsters we control with card effects the turn they are special summoned, which means we can't be hand trapped basically. And then once per turn, if a face-up Purrely exceeds monster we control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, we special summon a level 1 Purrely monster from our deck or grave, which really allows us to get back into our Purrely combos, summoning back our Purrely or Purrely, and then getting all the equipped spells back. It's a really brilliant card to have, and one I'm glad that we've got for the deck. Really protects it and does a good job of working in the deck. And next, we've just got 1 copy of Cool Bite and 1 copy of Pot of Prosperity. Everyone knows what they do, just generic search, you know, dig for 6, pick 1, add to your hand, and then Call by the Grave to protect from hand traps when we don't have our Stray Purrely Street. That being said, you could definitely switch these out with 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. I just think that these are the ratios I'm preferring to run at the moment. That's it for the Purrely spells. I mean, I would definitely say that 3 of each of the quick play, or 2 of each in the case of the Sleepy and Pretty, is definitely necessary. I just prefer to run 3 of them because obviously you're going to need them, you're going to need your Purrely plays. I would say it's necessary, there's no other way around it unfortunately, but it does kind of take up your deck space. It doesn't allow you much space to run hand traps, which is why I'm only running I'm still running 12. I mean, it's a lot of space. I think you'll be fine. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on to the traps. For the traps in this deck, we do have quite, generic expectable traps. We got 3 copies of our Infinite Impermanence, just a target negate, and then we got 1 copy of our Purrely Yeep. You may not have seen this one before. It targets 1 Purrely Exceeds monster we control and special summons from our extra deck 1 Purrely Exceeds monster with a different rank by using that target as material, but returns it to the extra deck during the end phase of the next turn, and it's treated as an Exceed summon. And then you can banish it from your grave, target up to 3 Purrely monsters in your grave, and shuffle them into the deck. Now, one of our main ways of getting into our X Purrely Noir, our boss monster, is using the Purrely Yeep with a combo of E Purrely Noir to summon X Purrely Noir on our opponent's turn. It is quite a strong line. It's a bit weaker than the main lines using Plump, but we'll look at that in next video. But it's definitely necessary as one of, it just hurts a lot to draw it. It kind of kills that combo line sometimes, but we do unfortunately have to run the one-off. Now, I'm sorry I haven't really gone into depth with the hand traps, but if you do need to know what any of them do, let me know in the comments so I can tell you. But I think the hand traps are quite generic. I might be making a video soon, a tier list looking at which different hand traps are more effective in this format. So if you would like to see that, let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's get into the extra deck. So to start with, we have 1 copy of our E Purrely Noir. Now this monster is brilliant, 2 level 2 monsters, however you use the effects to cheat it out with the Sleepy Memory, and then you can discard a card, target card your opponent controls, or 2, if it has Sleepy Memory, return that cards to the hand. And then up to thrice per turn, yeah, insane I know, when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, you can attach that card on the field to this card as a material, then set a Purrely trap. So that's how we're getting into our Purrely Yeep combos. We're using that effect of E Purrely Noir to set the Yeep and then summon the big X Purrely Noir in our opponent's turn. Next we have 2 copies of E Purrely Happiness. So this has the same, but at the end of the damage step, if it battles, you can add a Purrely card from your deck to your hand. Also, if this has Happy Memory as material, you can halve the attack of 1 face-up monster on the field. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material, then return 1 spell trap your opponent controls to the hand. Now, E Purrely Happiness is brilliant for OTKs. There's good OTK lines with that. I'll look at them in my next video as well, so definitely stick around for that. But I'd really recommend having this card at 2. And if you can't tell, all the Purrely Exceeds monsters have that effect of up to thrice per turn. It's quite common, and we're going to be seeing it on the next one, E Purrely Plump as well. So So once per turn, you can target up to 2 spell traps in the grave, attach them to this card as material. This is a quick effect if this card has Delicious Memory as material, which it does, obviously, because you cheat it out using the Purrely memory. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely quick play spell card, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material, then banish a monster on the field until the end phase. Now, we are just going to be attaching all the spell cards to our monsters. However, you don't have to banish, because it's a can wording, so it means you don't actually have to. You can choose whether you do or not, and a lot of the time you're not going to with Plump. You're just going to be getting it to 5 materials and then summoning X Purrely Noir on top of it to have a big body. But next we've got 2 E Purrely Beauty. Once per turn, target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effect until the end of the turn. This is a quick effect if this card has Purrely Pretty Memory as material, which obviously it will. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, you can attach that to this material, then change the battle position of one monster your opponent controls. Definitely one of the weaker ones, but having the negate can be quite nice, I suppose. But I would just definitely say E Purrely Plump and then E Purrely Noir are your main ones. The only reason we're running 1 Noir is that the line doesn't come up as much. Purrely Plump is the one you're going to be wanting most for turn 1, and then Happiness for turn 3 to go into the OTK plays. Next we have 2 copies of our X Purrely Noir, our big boss monster. So you can Xyz summon it using a rank 2 monster you control with 5 or more materials, which is the goal with Plump, because then it'll have loads of materials. It's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects while it has 5 or more materials, which is insane, just being unaffected. A massive tower that gets to like 4k, 5k attack because of Plump. It can have bounces, it has draws because of all of the extra stuff attached to it, it has multiple attacks. It's insane. And then quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, then target 1 card your opponent controls or in their graveyard, place it on the bottom of the deck. That is an insane card. Oh my god, you've got about 3 bounces per turn with that, but then obviously it loses the protection, so I do often like to keep the protection on the card. It's an insane card to have in the deck. I just love it so much. It's a brilliant boss monster. It's exactly what the deck needs. That is all for our Purrely monsters in the extra deck, however. Now let's get into some of the generic Xyz support, followed by our Link monsters. We got 1 copy of Lyra Lusk Assembled Nightingale. It gains 200 attack for each material attached to it, and can attack directly. And it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials it has. Once per turn you can detach until the end of this turn. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, also you take no battle damage. Now, the whole idea with this is you summon it with 2 Purrelys and you can attack directly, and it's just great for time. I mean, if you're in a game that's running close, you can just normal summon, special summon another one, Xyz, attack directly, and you've got game in time. It's really nice to have, it's really quick. Works against things like Kashtira as well, because it's not actually an effect to attack directly. So, big fan of that card. Next, we have 1 copy of Downerd Magician. You just special summon it on top of a level rank 3 or lower Xyz monster you control, and you don't really look at the other effect. I mean, it inflicts piercing battle damage, but the only reason you use it is to get into a big copy of our Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder, which is insane. If an Xyz monster is battled this turn, you can summon Zeus on top of that. So the whole idea is you would summon this, attack with that, after battle phase, go into Downerd Magician, and then go into Zeus, and you've got a format Zeus, which means you can use its effect to detach 2 and destroy all cards on the field twice per turn, which is insane. Love to see that. And then finally, we've got 1 copy of our Superstar Slayer Typhon. Did not have it last video where I said I would be having it, so very nice to finally see it in our deck. Look how beautiful that is. So yeah, that is our roster for the extra deck. It's quite strong. There's a lot of generic, just good cards in this extra deck that you can run because of the, I guess, smaller engine. But we're still not done. Next we've got our Link monsters, including 1 copy of our SP Little Knight. Everyone knows what this does. It's just a quick effect banish, target itself and something else banish. That's not what it does, it targets 1 on your field, 1 on theirs, banishes. But you can just make it with 2 effect monsters, which the Purrelys are, and you summon them for free, so it's a really brilliant card. But finally we've got Protector of the Agent's Moon. Now, it uses 2 fairy monsters, and we're not really looking at its on-summon effect, as it involves Sanctuary in the Sky, which is like a 2005 card. No, we're looking at the effect, tribute a fairy, then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. This comes up if your opponent activates things, for example, Skill Drain, or just any card that can't really be outed. You can tribute this, target that, and destroy it, and it really gets around Skill Drain because it's no longer negated because it's not on field. And things like, I don't know, anti-spell or cards that you can't out in conventional methods, this is really helpful for. So I would really recommend running just the 1 copy of this card because it definitely comes up in a lot of games. But yeah, that is going to do it for our Purrely deck profile. I'm really glad that you stuck around to watch it this far. Thank you very much. If you are considering getting the deck, let me know, because I will be making a combo video next week, because it's such an interesting deck, but it can be really hard to navigate and play when you're new to it. So I'm also going to be playing it at locals, and I was thinking of maybe filming a few locals vlogs. How would you guys feel about that? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that has been my video. Remember to like and subscribe for more. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.